everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm playing a game I have not touched in many years, Street Masters. Specifically, I'm going to do a playthrough with the Tide of the Dragon standalone set, and then I'll give some thoughts at the end of how the system feels after years of not playing, and how this new set looks. And disclaimer that I got a review copy of Tide of the Dragon. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Street Masters is, again, a game that I played years ago, like near when I started on the channel. I did one of my most famous reviews. Go watch that. It's pretty goofy. And at the time, the game was controlled by Blacklist, who, disclaimer, we do have history with. We designed the Mega Man Adventures game for them, and they did not treat us well. They are a mess of a company. I guess they still exist. I'm not sure. But anyway, now Steamforged Games has eventually gotten Street Masters, and they're fulfilling like original pledges and selling new stuff for it, which is, I think, a happy ending for most people involved. But this set, Tide of the Dragon, has been many years in coming. It is, again, a standalone set. It has 10 different characters, which is a ton, the characters that you control. 2 stages, a double-sided board and 1 deck for each stage, and then 2 main sets of enemies and boss combos that you can play with. If you haven't seen Street Masters before, this is a little bit like Sentinels of the Multiverse, where you can modularly mix and match things together. But I'm going to try a true solo play with Bruce. I wonder who the inspiration is for this one. So Bruce is one of the new characters. I'm playing against the Train and All Heaven Gang set of enemies, and I'm playing on the Sky High stage, where you can be thrown or throw enemies into these off-the-board areas, and then they'll, potentially take a ton of damage. Should be a fun time, and in the game, the core thing you're trying to do is to defeat the boss. Like, the stage stuff and whatever's going on with that is something you're trying to avert and manage. In this case, the boss is going to be running around and turning on these communication arrays, and as more come out, I'll be in more danger, because if they ever have 3 of them active, then I lose. But I can go over and punch the satellite dishes to temporarily deactivate them again. And then minions will be spawning and coming to attack me, and the boss will be attacking me if I get too close. So yeah, again, the key thing is everything's a distraction. In the end, you just want to kill the boss, and if you do that, you win. In Train's case, he has 22 hit points per player and attacks for 4 dice. Ouch. But we'll see how things go. So let's just jump right in. I'll kind of walk you through one turn at a time and see how things work. So you draw 4 cards at the start of the game, and then you can mulligan and redraw some. Usually you're looking for what are called tactic cards, which are ongoing bonuses. You want to get those in play as quickly as possible. Most characters have 3 different types of them. But at the start of a turn, you have your threat phase, where you refresh each card that you've exhausted in a previous turn, and then you draw and resolve 1 enemy card. The enemy cards come from the deck for the given boss and enemies. Here's the All Heaven Gang, and this is a mix of minion cards that are going to spawn people that will try to kill me, and cards that will boost the boss. So let's see what I'm getting first. I'm getting one of the minions, Raina, and she has a yellow background. Now, in most versions of Street Masters, they had miniatures and then like those little plastic rings you would put around them. Here, they just have these standees, which I will admit are not the prettiest standees. But what I do like a lot is that, man, these standees slide in silky smooth into the stands, which is good because you can't just leave these stands on. They only give you enough to temporarily have one enemy deck set up. All right, so here she is. And she comes out at the nearest one of these little spawn points to my fighter. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's 5. Yeah, it's definitely going to be this one. So there she is, ready to mess with me. There's also crates on the board I can go get. Again, the objectives that I'm going to be punching, and the boss is going to be activating, and the boss himself. And then Raina's card goes over here. She's not going to actually activate until my react phase, after I take my turn. It takes 5 damage to defeat her. She rolls 3 dice to attack me, and she starts out with these defense tokens, which are going to cancel certain attacks I might do. She starts out with 2 kick defense and 1 grapple defense. And on her turn, she's going to advance 3 spaces towards the nearest fighter, and then attack within 2 spaces. So if I'm within 4 of her, I'm in danger. If she doesn't deal any damage to me, then she'll get another random defense token to make her a little bit stronger. So that's it for the threat phase. Now I have the act phase. So I can do these things in any order I want. I can move up to 3 spaces. I can play 1 card, and I can take an action. The action could be to move more. It could be to get 2 random defense tokens. It could be to resolve an action on a card. The big one being your character card has an action they can always use. Or I can interact, which is going to be usually stage and objective based. In this one, the only interaction I have with the satellite dishes with the objectives is punching them. So no interacting needed. Now let's look at my cards. Some of them are going to be attacks or abilities, which are single use and then discarded. So here it's a grapple attack. You can see the symbol up here. Hair grab. I roll 2 attack dice, and then I gain up to 2 defense tokens from the target, so I just take them after I've done the attack. And then this ability, beckon, move an enemy 1 space for each power you have, which is currently none. Then play the topmost attack card in your discard pile, which is currently none, so I want to play that card. And then my tactics. So Bruce's big thing is that he cares about facing, which no other character in the game does. So you'll see that with his My Body's Weapon tactic. It says gain 1 attack die during each of your attacks targeting an enemy in front of you. And his front is where his face is poking and where his outstretched hand there is facing, where his forward leg is facing. You'll see they also put a bigger kind of arrow thing. They put smaller arrows on the other sides, which I think was a bad choice because now it's kind of not as obvious. But yeah, if you just kind of imagine, pya, pya, that he's attacking that way, then you're good to go. So once he plays My Body as a Weapon for the rest of the game, he'll get +1 die to every attack to our target in front of him. He can exhaust it once per turn to gain 1 power. Power is going to come from using defense tokens to defend and also from other effects. And when you build up to 6 power, in Bruce's case, you flip over to your charge side and you can use a little super attack, and then you flip back over once you use it. So gaining 1 power turn, certainly nice. Tactics also usually have a feint ability. When you use this, you get to do something really powerful, but then you have to discard the tactics. You don't have its bonuses anymore. So this one says discard up to 3 power, deal 1 direct damage to an enemy engaged with you for each power discarded this way. Direct damage bypasses defense. Okay, and then the other tactic I got is fleet-footed. There's another one about facing. When an enemy in front of you attacks you, reduce the attack value by 1 to a minimum of 1. So they would roll 1 fewer die. I can exhaust it to move up to 2 spaces every turn, and then I can feint to discard each of your power and flip your fighter card to its charge side. So if I do that even with like 0 or 1 power, I'll still immediately become charged. Okay, so I guess I want to play fleet-footed or My Body as a Weapon, and what else do I want to do? The boss is going to be running over to the objective to flip it, so I could move like 1, 2, 3 and start smacking Reyna. I mean, she'd hit me back, but I've got a decent amount of life to deal with stuff like that. Or I could run 3 over to this crate. Whenever you go to a crate, you discard it, and you get one of these loot cards, which is a single-use, nice little thing. Although that puts me very close to the edge of the board, which seems like a bad idea because as you're going to see, some of the stage effects can throw people off the edge, and then you got to roll 2 dice and you might take 5 automatic damage. So sure, let's start off with a bit of an aggressive stance and go 1, 2, 3 and face right on her. And then I'm going to play My Body as a Weapon to gain +1 attack. Let's go ahead and exhaust it now to gain a power. Don't want to forget about that. Okay, and then I'm going to use his basic attack, flow, or action, flow. It says you may move 1 space and then attack for 2 dice, but it's going to be 3 dice because she's facing right in front of me. These are the dice. You've got basic hits. You've got defenses, which are going to give you a defense token matching the attack type you're doing. For my basic attack, it's a punch, which, by the way, she has no defense for, which is awesome. This one gives you a hit and defense, and then the best one is this. That's a crit. You get the 1 damage, and you get to roll the die again. Exploding crits. All right, here we go. Yeah, pretty good roll. I'm doing 3 damage to her and getting 1 punch defense for myself. Although I don't have to accept that, it says when attacking a target in front of him, Bruce can re-roll one of his fighter dice before resolving the attack. And when defending from an attack made by an enemy in front, I can re-roll one of the attacker's enemy dice. And I can only adjust my facing after I move, or if an effect says I can adjust my facing. So sure, what the hey? I mean, there's only one side worse than this, which is the single shield. So I'll re-roll one of these. Ooh, a crit. That's better. And I roll again. What the heck? Okay. So that's 4 damage. Ah, dang, I almost one-shotted her. So 2 punch defense and 4 damage. Because again, she has no punch defense to stop that type of attack. So that was a beautiful thing. And whenever you defeat an enemy, besides just getting them off the board so they can't bother you anymore, you also get to draw 1 loot card. Although, like, honestly, I could just ignore her and focus on the boss. It's always up to you. Okay, now I did my react phase, so she's going to advance 3 towards the nearest fighter. She's already next to me, so she doesn't need to, and then she's going to attack me for 3 dice. I haven't played my defensive card yet, so I just have to tank it. And enemies never miss their attack. They just determine which type of defense they're hitting. You see here, I prefer punch. I got 1. Let's use my free reroll since I'm facing her. Nice! So I got 2 punches and 1 grapple. The 2 punches get canceled and turned into 2 more power for me. But the grapple damage that I couldn't stop is 1 out of my 16 damage. If I get defeated, I lose the game, of course. All right, not a bad first turn. Now I have the draw phase. I draw 1 card, and I got 1/4 inch punch, another ability. So I'm still looking for my third tactic, but I'll get fleet-footed played soon. And now you flip this over. If we were playing with multiple fighters, another one would take their turn, only activating their own enemies. But once every fighter's activated, we go to an enemy turn and then a stage turn. Now, in the enemy turn, they don't draw any new cards, because remember, you're doing that on each individual fighter turn. Instead, you activate each enemy card from left to right. Train starts with this one called Inhuman Resolve. Okay, so it says, activate. Train attacks targeting each fighter adjacent to him. So he would have attacked me for 4, but I'm not next to him. If unable to attack, place 1 power on this card. And those power are going to interact with his other cards, in this case, Inhuman Resolve. It says if there's at least 3 power on Train, he discards all the power and deals each fighter 3 general damage. General damage can be blocked by any defense type, but then if it gets through, it'll still hurt you. Otherwise, Train gains 1 random defense token for each power. So if I don't punch him eventually, he's just going to build up power forever. He got to grapple. That's it for the enemy phase. And now we have the stage phase. So we've got all these rules about Sky High. If a person, me, or an enemy moves into one of those falling spaces on both sides, we roll 2 enemy dice, and if the results match, which is, what's the chance of that? So whatever this is, it'll be, I guess it's a 1/3 chance, right? I think my math is right for that. If they match, they suffer 5 direct damage and is moved to the nearest entry space. Enemies will never move onto those falling spaces on their own, so I have to actually push them. And I don't know if my character has much pushing effects, but the stage deck has stuff. And then, as I already said, if there are 3 active objectives in play, we lose. But we actually activate this card. Then we're going to draw a new card. The boss moves 4 spaces towards the nearest inactive objective. Then it flips 1 inactive objective within 1 space. And the yellow card being out here shows both that this objective is on the board and also says that we can do 3 damage to it to flip it back down. Although I don't think it's ever returned to the deck. So the yellow objective will never completely go away now. All right, so he moves 1, 2, 3. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And then he flips that one up, 1 out of 3 to win. And then after I've activated everything, I draw 1 new stage card. Most of these are going to be one-off effects. Aggressive wins. Each fighter may discard up to 4 defense token. For each token not discarded, that fighter moves 1 space towards the... Oh, God. So I'm going to go all the way right to the edge and hopefully not die. And that's only fighters, so it does not affect enemies. Yep, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's hope I don't take 5 automatic damage, because that'd be pretty bad. No, I'm okay. All right, and that is the end. We're back to the fighter turn, a new threat phase. For the rest, we'll just kind of pick things up a bit. It's a new enemy card. Oh, geez, another Raina. Okay, this one's purple. And she's going on the nearest empty entry space, so that one's not counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so all the way over there. Although they move pretty quickly, so I can't just sit and wait. All right, well, let's go ahead and do my play first and get my other tactic out, fleet-footed. So again, I can move up to 2 spaces by exhausting it once per turn, and I'm going to take -1 die from every attack that faces directly toward me. And let's go ahead and use that now. Let's also gain 1 power. So I'm now 2 power away from charging. So I got 2 movement. Let's go ahead and face towards her, and I'm getting a free loot, which is coins. At any time, you may discard this card to gain 1 power for each enemy in your threat area. That's not bad. Could actually do it right now to charge myself, but I think I'm going to pretty easily defeat her, so I don't really need to. Okay, so I still have my move and my action. For my action, I'll do my special attack. I can move 1 and then attack for 2 dice. But it's 3 because I'm facing her. Beautiful. So I do finish her. Actually, I only need 1 damage. Yeah, I finish her off, and I get 1 punching defense. Because she only had 1 defense left, and I did enough damage since she didn't block anything. And again, every time you defeat a minion, you get a card. Egg Tart. At any time, you may discard this card and move up to 3 spaces. Okay. All right, I've got 3 more movement. Maybe I'll go 1, 2, 3. She's not going to be able to reach me, but I'll get another loot. I am kind of close to the edge, so hopefully I don't get thrown off. Boba Milk Tea. During your turn, you may discard this card to draw a card from your discard pile. That's cool. All right, now purple activates. She moves 3 spaces towards me, and then would have attacked if she got within 2. Since she didn't, she gets 1 free defense, a kick. She's got 3 kicking defense, so yeah, remind me not to attack her that way. And then I draw a card. Got another hair grab, which is going to steal defense tokens from the target. That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't show you the 1/4-inch punch, by the way, because now next turn I'm going to actually have to play one of these. Deal 2 direct damage to an enemy engaged with you, dealing an additional 1 direct damage if they're in front of you, so that's 3 armor-piercing damage. Then the target retreats 1 space. Pretty cool. And then back in, I can move a per enemy one space for each power I have, which right now is 4, and then play the topmost attack card in your discard pile. So I would have to have like hair grab already there. Now don't forget, I could just start wailing on the boss. I mean, of course, he'll wail on me right back, but I do need to start attacking him at some point. And speaking of the boss, he activates. He gets a power since he can't hit me, and then he gets 2 defenses. Remember, in a moment, he's going to get a power and then do 3 general damage to me, which is not fun. Of course, him getting infinite defenses is not fun either. Okay, now it's the stage's turn. There are no inactive objectives, so the boss does not move at all. We got doves! Is this a John Woo movie? Each figure is dealt 2 general damage. Oh my gosh. If a minion is defeated this way, a loot card is not drawn. Then flip an inactive objective to its active side, which again, there aren't any of. Okay, so he's dealt 2 damage. Let's actually, since I have all those hair pulls, let's maybe get rid of both of his grapple defense, and then I can steal the other ones. And Rain, I'll do something similar. Then unfortunately for me, I lose my punch, but I get to block with it and get a power. And I'm down to 14 life. Uh-oh. By the way, when I get 1 more power and flip to my side, it just gives me 2 attacks, and I can adjust my facing during the before the second attack. So if I wanted to hit 2 people adjacent to me, I could. Although probably I'll just wail on somebody for, each is boosted by my body's weapons. So that'd be 6 dice of damage. Heck yeah. All right, let's go to the next turn. See what enemy we're getting now. Uh-oh, Body of Steel. So this one boosts the boss for the rest of the time. If Train has fewer than 6 defense tokens, he gains 2 random defense tokens every turn. Okay. I mean, it does mean that I don't have another enemy to deal with, but still pretty annoying. All right, what do I want to do? I think I want to maybe hair pull. I mean, I could run up and hit the boss, but he's going to hit me for 4 plus a bunch of general damage. Well, maybe it'll be okay. Let's try this. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. This is my regular move and face towards her. And then I am going to punch the boss. What the heck? I'm going to get a power, which levels me up immediately. Now, by the way, if you get extra power, you don't lose it or anything. So like if I use my coins right now, it would not be a waste. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Undaunted attacks. I'm going to attack her twice for 3 dice each time, with my body as a weapon helping me out. And she only has kick defense, so it's not going to help her at all. All right, first attack. That's 2 with a crit. Okay, so 3 damage and a punch defense. All right, let's see if we can finish her off. I bet we can. Yes, so 1 more punch defense and she's done. And I get another loot. 2x4. And you turn to me, discard this card to deal 2 direct damage. That's again armor piercing to an enemy within 2 spaces of you. Heck yeah. I've got a lot of loot cards now. Okay, I still have my card play and I still have fleet-footed to move me too. I've got a whole plan here. Hey, what's up, bossy? I haven't even said hi to you yet. I'm going to face right towards you. And now I'm going to play Hair Grab. This is a grapple defense, but I took away both of his grapple from the Doves event. I'm going to roll 3 dice and then gain up to 2 defense tokens from the target. So I'll steal his defense from him. And again, I still get my +1 bonus from facing towards him. Oh, I forgot that I can reroll once. I should have done that in the fight with the other lady. Okay, so let's reroll this. Okay, that's fine. So I get 3 damage through and a grapple defense. How you like that, buddy? 3 out of 22. It's a start. And then I get to steal 2 of his defense. Let's actually steal... If I steal his kick, then I have more kind of variety for different attacks that can be thrown at me. But my main attack is a punch attack, so him having those is going to help him defend better. Yeah, so let's just take more punch, I guess. All right, now I am next to him, which would be pretty terrible because he hit me for 4 dice. So let's go ahead and use this egg tart. And anytime you discard this card to move up to 3 spaces. Let's go 1, 2, and hey, what the heck? Let's cover up that spot so nobody's going to jump on me. I get another loot card. Ooh, a cleaver. Discard this card to add 2 direct damage to any attack. Love it. Okay, and I'm kind of far away from the roof. We're doing all right. And yeah, there's no threat phase because I killed everybody, so I'm getting another copy of my body as a weapon. Now, this has the unique icon, so I couldn't play a second one to get +2 to all my attacks, but I could now use this for its feint effect, discard up to 3 power, deal 1 direct damage to an enemy for each power discarded this way, and then play the new one, although, like, usually I'm going to prefer to just do attacks. Oh, and by the way, I should say that I was, like, facing towards the boss, right? Because I can, whenever I move, change my facing. All right, the boss is going to do some nasty stuff. He's not happy with what I just did. So, he can't attack, so he's going to place 1 power on his card first. And then because there's at least 3 power, he discards it all and deals 3 damage, general damage, to each of us. Now for general damage, I can do whatever I want, so let's do 3 of my punches since I have a ton of them. So cool, I'm already halfway to doing my super attack again. And then he isn't done. He's getting 2 random defense tokens because he is at 6 or fewer. He got a grapple and a kick, which is fine with me. Still no punch and not much grappling, so I can use my other hair pull and steal some of his kicking defense. Other than the stage, there's still only 1 objective out. Oh, more doves. Okay, each figure's dealt 2 general damage. Let's get rid of his, if I'm about to pull his hair, his grapple and his kick defense. And yeah, I guess I am about to do a super attack again because there goes all of my defense. And then the rest of the dove effect doesn't do anything. Or I'm definitely going to punch the heck out of the boss. There's no question about that. Ah, it's Big Dragon. Isn't that Sammo Hung? I think that's who they're inspired by here. By the way, the characters are very like you saw Bruce Lee. I'm not sure who Train's supposed to be, but the other boss in this set is clearly Donnie Yen as Ip Man. Okay, so this guy advances 3 spaces towards the nearest fighter and attacks, for 4. If a fighter suffers a damage during this attack, all fighters adjacent to that fighter suffer 1 general damage. Well, in True Soul, that doesn't matter. If the enemy dealt no damage, it gains 1 random defense token. Okay, so he's as fast as the Reina characters, but he doesn't have the 2 reigns, so it's going to be a little bit harder for him to get to us. And he's over here. Okay, so not too close to hit me. So I should be able to avoid him while hitting Train a whole bunch. And yeah, I gotta say, this guy seems like he's going to be pretty easy, because he can't really move. I can just keep on avoiding him. So let's go ahead and get +1 power, which charges me. Then I'm going to use my fleet-footed to move up to 2. Let's get right there. Let's grab his hair again. This is apparently my only move. All right, so 3 grappling, and he has no defense against that, so now I'll get to steal both of his things. Okay, let's re-roll that with my 1 free re-roll. Nice, so 3 damage and 1 grapple defense. And then I'm stealing his only defense, both of his kicks. All right, and then let's go ahead and Undaunted. We're going to attack him for 2 3-dice attacks using fists. Okay, number 1. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's a 3, 4, 5. And actually, I can reroll one of these. Let's go for it. So instead of 5, oh, that's 5 plus 6. What the heck? 7. Okay, 7, second attack. Oh my gosh. Let's reroll this with my free reroll. So that's 7. So 9. 9, 10. What the heck? 11. You're seeing this, right? 12. 12 and a punch. Well, hey, this might be a quick playthrough, which is often the case for for Street Masters. Because he's down to, gosh, what is it? 18. Well, what the hey? Let's go ahead and use my cleaver to add +2 direct damage to that attack. That gets him to 20. Wait, didn't I have a 2x4? You're turning me to discard this? Oh, to deal 2 direct damage. Okay. I guess I win. Yay. So yeah, that was it. We did it. Yay, okay. So, Street Masters, years after I originally played it. What do I think? Well, the reason I called this one, besides that, the Aftershock box, which is something I pledged after like the initial game, the fact that it got like way too large and was kind of like annoying to have to deal with, that's a big reason I called this. So having this kind of set where it's just 2 stages, 2 bosses, and 10 fighters, because fighters are really like where a lot of the fun is to try out different ones, that's pretty cool. And I don't think I'll add anything more to than this if I do keep this, which will probably depend on whether my kids enjoy it or not. But yeah, the good stuff about Street Masters is still as good as I remember. It is fun, not too brain taxing, but it is fun to build up your character, get a bunch of cool tactics, and use cool moves to do awesome attacks. That's always been fun. It continues to be fun. By the way, if you want to see what his other tactic was, it's Shapeless. You move through enemy figures. Meh. But exhaust and gain 1 defense token of your choice every turn, or faint and exhaust a minion adjacent to you, which means they skip their next activation. Pretty dang good, although I never got it. Now, the biggest complaints I had about the game is that sometimes it's hard to tell what the heck the rules are. I will say, at least for this set, the Sky High stage was very straightforward, very easy to resolve, and same thing for the All Heaven gang. And looking at the other stage and the other boss in this, those look pretty straightforward as well. So I don't think this particular Street Masters set falls into the the problem where like sometimes they aren't that tested or developed well, and it's kind of hard to tell what they meant with the effects. Well, but actually, let's come back to the tested part. You saw, and this was often a problem with Street Masters, especially in True Solo, that you can just kind of rush down the boss and punch them a whole lot and ignore all the enemies that have spawned and ignore all the stuff on the stage and win. And, they very rarely did anything to kind of fix that or address that. because you can make the game harder by giving like rivals, like extra people that you need to fight with, but usually you don't need to worry about them and you can still just focus on the boss. So the game is what it is. Like it's not a well-balanced game. It's never been a well-balanced game. While you can make it harder, still the game often feels too quick or too unsatisfying. Although if you increase player count, that does get a little bit better. But the core gameplay is fun. It's just like a fun little arcade beat 'em up. The dice system is still solid. I always love exploding crits. The enemy damage does not explode. You know for sure how much they're going to do. It's just a question of whether your defense will block it or not. So I think all of that is a good time. And this seems like a pretty solid set. You know, having, again, 10 fighters, 2 stages, 2 bosses as a little lead into the system is cool. Although there are some janky parts, like there are parts of the rulebook that refer to components that didn't come with this set, and or refer to stages that aren't in this set or bosses that aren't in this set. So like clearly they didn't, you know, do the the quality control as much as they could have. Also, I like standees better than miniatures sometimes. These are pretty ugly standees, but at least, as I said, the things pull in and out with no damage of a standee very easily. For the way this game works, that's definitely good. And I mean, I don't know. I hate having to deal with, in like old versions of Street Masters, the 8 billion kind of generic looking enemy enemy miniatures. So the fact that now they're just standees is maybe good, but I would have preferred tokens personally for this kind of a game. Like little tokens on here to show where the enemies are, kind of like these crate tokens. That would have been better for my taste, but everyone's going to be different on that kind of stuff. But anyway, that was Street Masters Tide of the Dragon. Like I said, I'm going to show this to my kids, see if they enjoyed. If they do, it'll probably stick around. Just in this one set, I'm definitely not going to buy more because since Street Masters is not always like well developed and well balanced, I don't know if buying a bunch more stuff for it is a good idea, because then you're just going to kind of get a crapshoot of what works and what doesn't. But I would say this set overall works, and you know, even though that was a embarrassingly short playthrough, at least you got a little sense of how the game works. We didn't even get to draw an event card that would have like had the fans blow us or had more people show up from the helicopter. There was lots of cool stuff that could have happened. Oh well, so it goes. Thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Pedro Lucas, Nick Skeen, Miles, Wayne Scott, and Steve Wren. We'll see you at the next stop.